Well, that was a frustrating watch, and we didn't deserve to win, but let's break it down. What happened, why it happened. There were a couple of changes in the lineup, but not really those that I would say led to a big change in performance. Wirtz took the left-hand flank from Gakpo. Szoboszlai went back into midfield with McAllister and Gravenberch to form the midfield unit that made up the whole of last season. And Bradley was in right back. Okay, so not much different to something we're used to. Wirtz on the left supporting Isak through the centre. We knew Isak would start. Actually, I'm quite surprised he lasted 83 minutes. Fitness is not an issue at the moment for Isak, I would say. And would we really have performed any different with Gakpo on a left-hand flank than Florian Wirtz? Not really, judging by when he came on. He didn't really make much of an impact either. He's not been great last few games. So it was worthwhile trying Wirtz there, taking him out of the number 10 in which he struggled. No real difference to me. Still that final ball, and we'll talk about it later, is lacking from Florian Wirtz. So why did we perform so badly in that first half? For me, it's all down to the defensive unit, and I know we all defend as a team, but I'm talking about that back line. Kerkez all over the place again. Van Dijk trying to marshal that back line, but not succeeding. Konate, awful. Probably the worst game of his season so far, including all the preseason matches where I thought he was an absolute liability. He was giving the ball up all the time, finding himself out of position, having to wrestle Mateta to the ground just to stop him passing him. And I have a little bit of an armchair psychologist reason for Konate's poor performance. And Bradley wasn't great either, to be honest, trying to grab his opportunity to cement that right back slot. He didn't do much for me. All right, on to Konate. Now, it wouldn't have escaped anyone that we were playing a team with the number one centre-back that we were trying to get during the transfer window. Almost got. And then in the last minute, he was pulled away from us again by Oliver Glasner when Crystal Palace weren't able to find his replacement, basically. And so, what's Konate going into this match thinking? Liverpool might go in again for Mark Gahey in January. If they get Mark Gahey, is my position under threat? Was that a little bit too much pressure from him? I'm just throwing things up in the air. I can't find another reason why Konate performed so badly in that first half other than outside pressures. Now, I still think Konate may be already planning to leave at the end of the season to go to Real Madrid. And I've been wondering if he's been a little bit switched off at times, a little bit, let's just get through the season and try and get my big money move to Real Madrid where I get a nice big signing on bonus and get to play with the Galacticos there and rejoin Trent. This didn't seem like lazy. This just seemed like terrible decision making on Konate's part throughout the whole of the first half. And if it wasn't for, I'm not even going to hold this to the end of the video as a let's build tension on who my man of the match is. It's pretty damn obvious to anyone who watched the match. Alisson is man of the match, heads and shoulders above anyone else in that team today. If it wasn't for him, we would have been 4-0 down by half time. And that's not an exaggeration. He made 3 crucial saves on clear-cut, 90% likely goal chances for Crystal Palace. If it wasn't for Alisson, we'd be 4-0 down by half time. Let that sink in. That's insanity. Why did we play so bad? That whole backline was all over the place. They weren't unchanged. For some reason, communication was terrible. Gravenberch wasn't successful in shielding that backline either. He probably had his worst performance of the season so far as well. It's catching, isn't it? When they're all starting to make mistakes, it feeds in and they all become doubtful and then they behave like henhouse of headless chickens. Fair play to Crystal Palace, though. They were playing some good football. Nice movement, 1-2s, through balls, players running beyond, crosses, quick crosses, low crosses, high crosses. They were playing pretty well. But Liverpool should be able to handle that. We're the champions of the Premier League. We're currently top of the league now. This shouldn't have been such a problem in that first half. Thankfully, in the second half, we got better. They tightened up, started to, and actually had more possession in the first half too, because after the goal, even though Crystal Palace were a threat on the counter-attack, they did play more with a low block and then sporadic bursts forward. But in the second half, we got a lot more of the possession as Crystal Palace seemed very content to just defend that 1-0. Fair enough. There's 3 points. They want to get that. We have to get better at attacking that low block. We'll talk about that more in a minute too. But the defensive unit got a bit better. I think Van Dijk managed to corral them into some form of cohesion and some form of a unit. Bradley did come off as Szoboszlai moved into right back, and I think that helped. Whereas Bradley was marauding forward a lot and also moving into the centre. I don't know whether he thinks he's Trent. He was moving into the centre a lot, leaving big gaps on that right-hand side. Szoboszlai was a lot more disciplined. I think he is our best right back, which is madness to say. And with Szoboszlai moving to right back, Wirtz moved from left wing into that number 10 kind of advanced right-sided midfield role, meaning Gakpo could come onto the left wing. Not much change, to be honest. I mean, he was a little bit more direct than Wirtz, a little bit better at cutting inside and providing some kind of threat. Didn't really have any major opportunities apart from one header from a brilliant cross from Szoboszlai in that right-back position, which he just headed way over the bar. Chiesa coming on was probably the most impactful. Straight away, he provided a burst of energy and impetus. He did commit one foul on a Palace player, but it shows what a lovely guy he is. The first thing he did was put his hands up and run over to the Palace player to check they're okay, help them to their feet. He didn't try arguing. He was like, yeah, I made a foul. It was a mistake. I was overzealous. I really, really like Chiesa. I'd like him to get more opportunities and to do really well. And he scored the equaliser for us. And I thought, brilliant. You definitely deserve that, Chiesa. I'm glad for you. And obviously glad for Liverpool because Mentality Monster's coming through one more time. Terrible first half where we were lucky to go in 1-0 down, not 4-0 down. How on earth are we level in this game? That shows what they're made of. Psychologically, they're able to come back into the game, get control of it, get to 1-1. And now we've actually got more than 5 minutes to try and find that famous late winner that we've been getting all season. What happened? We switched off in defence again. Once again, didn't deal with a cross at all. And it falls to the feet of Ekitike, who just puts it away. Alisson had no opportunity to save that one, despite how brilliant he was in this match. And then we're down 2-1. Is it karma? Did we deserve to lose by a late winner? Since we've been doing that to so many other teams this season? I don't know. It's hard to say we were unlucky. I definitely don't think we deserve to win. Did we deserve a draw? Possibly, probably. Yeah, maybe. Maybe we should have got a draw. We definitely didn't deserve to win. And losing, to be honest, with that first half performance, you can't begrudge Crystal Palace from getting the 3 points from us. And I think it gives Arne Slot 3 big things to work on. And I'm going to lay them out here. Here are the 3 things I think Liverpool need to work on. Despite how brilliant they've been this season, these are 3 things that will help us improve. Dealing with a low block. How do we attack that low block? Wirtz has been one of the biggest culprits so far. You know, I'm a fan of him. I think he will come good. But he's not there. He's behind the play a lot. And his thinking is just a little bit too late. And that's why that final ball, that final through ball, the final pass is just a little bit off. It's not where the players need it to be. It's a little bit behind them, a little bit in front of them, a little bit too much power, a little bit too little power. It's just not right. It's not clicking for Wirtz yet. It will do. I believe so. Just not yet. And so a lot of good movements where he uses his brilliant dribbling skill to be quite press resistant, to get out of tight spots and get himself into position and then able to pass it on to another player to try and create an opportunity. But that final ball is just so poor so often. That's one of the reasons why we're struggling with the low block. But another reason is we're trying at this moment in time to put all our creativity through Wirtz when he's on the field. And we're forgetting that we've got Mo Salah on the right. Mo Salah, the best attacker in the Premier League for me, and I think for a lot of you too. And we are underutilizing him, underusing him, wasting the impact he can have on games by making him play so far wide on the right. He's not coming in central anywhere near as much as he did last season, at least to the eye test. I'd like to see some stats. And the new boys that we have in the team, Ekitike, Isak, Wirtz, they don't seem to know about Salah because they are not passing to him anywhere near as much as Darwin Núñez, for all his faults, would do, as Jota, RIP, would do. And the boys in the middle, McAllister and Szoboszlai particularly, are not always looking for Salah anymore. And I think that might be to Slot's instructions because he wants to spread the load. And we are underutilizing our absolute best creative force, not just in scoring goals, but in assisting. So I combine all that into one thing. In order to deal with these low blocks, we need to rely less on Wirtz until he gets fully up to speed and a bit more on Salah. The second big thing I think we need to improve upon is our defense. Conceding 2 goals a game is just not sustainable. And why is this happening? I think Konate, as much as I believe he's got so many great traits, his physical presence, his speed, his pace, his composure 90% of the time, but there's always a mistake in him, and his understanding with Van Dijk, he is underperforming so far this season. Is it because his head is mentally at Real Madrid? He's already decided at the end of the season he is going to Spain. Is that why? I think there is a top defender in there. Right now, he's not playing to the best of his ability, and he's a little bit of a liability at times. Too much so for a player at his level. But also Kerkez has not been the left-back solution we wanted. Right now, I'd probably pick Robertson over him because of the understanding with Van Dijk on that left-hand side, the experience. But Slot wants to bring in that youthful energy, greater pace. I don't know if it's bigger work rate because Robertson never, ever stops. So I'm not sure quite why he's playing Kerkez all the time over Robertson apart from 1 or 2 matches. But that's not clicking either. And we're going to have to get through that painful period. I think Kerkez can come good, just like with Wirtz. He's not doing it yet. He's just a little bit too rash, a little bit too all over the place. But we have to fix this because 2 goals a game is not sustainable. It will bite us on the behind too often. I've said this in previous videos. We will lose games unless we can tighten up that defense. We've been lucky so far this season. And that late loss, karma, maybe was overdue. And the third thing I want to mention as something that needs to be improved upon is passing accuracy. So many passes are just not quite going where they want. And even when the pass completes, you see that it's just a little bit behind the player or a little bit in front of them, and they're having to extend themselves or kind of double back to collect the pass, therefore killing attacking momentum. Something is going on with our passing. I'm not sure why, because it was much better last season. We just need to sharpen up. And that actually may be, I'm just thinking about saying, it may be because we have so many new players and they're all still getting to know each other and they're trying to shed how they played in their previous team, right? Isak has to unlearn how his teammates pass to him and how he passes to them at Newcastle in order to get in tune with Liverpool players. You know, Ekitike and Wirtz the same. Kerkez the same. Frimpong, when he comes on, the same. We got a lot of new players and it takes time to build understanding. So as fans, we have to be understanding too, except that there will be frustrating games where things are just not clicking and we're trying too hard to make them click, therefore exposing ourselves and giving up counter-attacking opportunities or getting caught in possession. Listen, we shouldn't overreact. This was 1 loss. It ain't bad. They're still top of the league. Obviously, if Arsenal win tomorrow, I think it's they're playing, then that's not great. Also, Crystal Palace alone are within 3 points of us. They are a top team now. They're second in the league. They are doing brilliant. Whether they can keep that going the whole season with Europe as well, they probably don't have that big of a squad. You expect them to drop off over the course of the season. But don't be too bummed out that Crystal Palace beat us because they are a good team with a great manager. Glasner is doing wonders there. Do we trust in Liverpool? Do we trust in Arne Slot? Do we trust in the squad? Yes, we do. They will bounce back from this, right? You'll never walk alone. Thanks for watching this video. I appreciate it. If you want to support my videos at all, I don't make money from this, you can click on the join button that's next to the subscribe button just down below this video and put monthly donations or even just a one-off. That would be really helpful. I'll give you some shout outs and your comment in the chat will be highlighted to show that you're a supporter of this channel. Also in the description, there's a buy me a coffee link. I appreciate it. I'll see you again tomorrow. I'll make another video tomorrow. I might make 2 videos. Maybe 3. Let's see how it goes. I'll speak to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.